Well, hello everyone. This is John Byrne with Poets and Quants. Welcome to our deep dive into the IMBA. That is the Online MBA program at the University of Illinois, the Gies College of Business. We have two folks with us today to talk about the program. Casey Jones, the Senior Associate Director of Recruiting and Admissions, and Narissa Brown, the Associate Dean of Graduate Programs. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, this is one of the true disruptively priced MBAs in the market, has been a pioneer in breaking price points for an MBA. And I wonder if you can give us a little lowdown, how long it's been out there, how many people have enrolled in it, how many have you graduated already, and what's new? Who wants to start?
Okay, I can kick us off. So the IMBA, which is our online MBA program, was launched in 2016 with the mission of democratizing education and disrupting the MBA marketplace, John, by offering a high quality, high touch, yet flexible MBA program at a fraction of the cost of many tier one MBA programs that are out there. So our program is at a really great price point below 2,500, and that low price point is kind of tied to our mission of accessibility as well as affordability. But again, we're doing that all with also the mission of making sure that we're of high quality and innovative. So our MBA program, currently across all of our iDegree programs, including our MBA program, we have about 7,400 learners. To date, within our IMBA program, we are over 3,400 learners. So we are a program that operate at scale. And we routinely, we have two big graduation points every year. We issue degrees December, August, and May as well. But just to give you the sense of the numbers that we graduate from our MBA program for this December, or total graduates across all of our programs is about 900. And so roughly or more than half of that is coming from our MBA program. Of course, we took in quite a few learners during the pandemic, but we can still continue to admit at a very high rate. But despite the size of our program, we're committed to making sure that our program still has a very much of an in-person feel. We use what we call a flipped classroom model, where we have a combination of asynchronous and synchronous content, where our learners consume our asynchronous content through our Coursera MOOCs. We consider our MOOCs to be like a digital textbook, but much of our learning is done in a high engagement setting. We have a synchronous component to our courses where our learners come to our live sessions. They can either join the live sessions live or they can watch a recording. And in those live sessions, this is where an instructor will take you through working through cases, working through past practice problems, discussing, different challenges within business. And so the live sessions are less about an instructor coming and lecturing content. It's really about taking what you've learned in our Coursera MOOCs. You've already read the textbook. So when you come to our live sessions, it's actually applying that learning in a very real world way. Our program can be completed in 2 to 3 years. On average, most of our learners complete the IMBA program in 2.5 years. And Casey can share a lot more with respect to our admissions numbers that we're currently seeing in fall of 2023, as well as what we're seeing for spring of 2024.
Yeah, give us the lowdown, Casey.
Yeah, so we do have 5 intake cycles each year, so it keeps us busy on the recruiting and admissions front. So we just wrapped up our fall 2 intake, and those students started courses in mid-October. Between fall 1 and fall 2, we saw about 850 new learners in the IMBA. Average age is around 36, which is pretty consistent with the average age, and about 11 years of work experience since we launched the program. So again, this is a program designed for working professionals, many of them really in the midst of their career and looking for continual improvement and new opportunities, many moving from very technical roles to leadership and management, strategic leadership as well. As Narissa mentioned, we are heavy into our recruiting cycle for spring 2024, and the numbers are also looking good there as well. We expect to see about 600 to 650 new learners between spring 1 and spring 2. So if you're still considering your options for 2024, you don't have to sit and wait until next August. There are always opportunities for you to join. We have multiple different pathways into the program, which is quite unique. If you're not sure about the full commitment, you could start with a single course as a non-degree learner and take that course if you later decide to apply to the degree and already have those credit hours earned as you come in.
And that's a unique aspect of the IMBA program, the stackability of either a graduate certificate. You now have how many graduate certificates?
Yeah, we have 8 fully rolling. We'll launch 3 additional graduate certificates in spring of 2024, and then the final 2 that are on the books for fall of 24. Although I keep hearing about more murmurings or partnerships with other colleges on campus to broaden our portfolio as well.
And the graduate certificate is composed of 3 courses, right?
12 credit hours typically equates to 3 courses, sometimes 4 in unique situations.
Oh, yeah. Aren't the accounting ones 4?
Yeah, some of the accounting, I believe our business analytics, some of the courses are broken down into 2 credit hours, but always 12 credit hours. As you've mentioned, John, those are stackable credentials. So again, if you're not sure that you're ready for a full MBA, or maybe you're just looking for that specialized content to start a graduate certificate, is a great opportunity to do so. The course structure is exactly that Narissa mentioned, with that combination of asynchronous and synchronous learning. You're working side by side and doing breakout sessions with students in our graduate degree programs, but it's a shorter credential, a less expensive or more affordable credential, becoming more and more recognized by employers, and then it can stack into our degrees, which is really the benefit. No need to duplicate any coursework if you do later go on for that larger credential.
So you can stack a single course, you can stack a graduate certificate of 3 to 4 courses, and you can in fact stack your master's in management online into your online MBA program. And if you did the latter, the MIM program into the MBA, you cut in half the number of credits required for your MBA program, right?
That's correct. At the end of the day, you would still take 72 credit hours, but 36 of those would have been through the Master's of Management, and then you just have an additional 36 to earn the MBA.
Which is truly unique. The other thing about this, of course, is there's some stretchability in the program, right? So you can complete it in as early as 2 and a little bit more years, up to 5. Is that the range now?
Yeah, that's correct. So as Narissa mentioned, the average is around 2.5 years, but we certainly understand that life happens. Sometimes students need to take off a semester or even a full year. So our graduate college does allow up to 5 years for the completion of any graduate degree program. So that flexibility is built in a lot of different ways. Students can take just 1 course every 8-week session, or they can accelerate their path, double up and take 2 courses at a time, or again, take some time off if that is what is needed.
Now, here's another important aspect of being able to stretch it out. If your employer has a cap on educational benefits, you can go right up to the cap in 1 year, and you have more years you can go up to the cap. and pretty much have your employer pay entirely for the degree. I've met people at iConverge, and we'll talk to you about what iConverge is in a moment, who have done exactly that. And I've also met people who, in fact, are stacking your MIM into their MBA. In fact, I met 3 people at the latest iConverge who are doing just that. So a lot of flexibility in the program, far more than even many other online MBA programs, which are known for their flexibility. Other thing I like is how innovative you folks have been. I just recently did a story on a new course, a new elective that will be debuting in March. It's called Emerging Technologies and Disruption. The course is by Robert Bruner, who is the head of disruption and innovation at the school. And what's fascinating about this course, and it's just ideal that he's using generative AI to have written the initial draft scripts for the entire curriculum of the course, but also an avatar that will take his place in about 15% of the sessions, which is pretty remarkable. And I don't think there's another business school in the world that's doing that kind of innovation with generative AI right now. So that's very cool. And you can look it up on our site. What do you need to know? I mean, I'm thinking there are certain aspects that people would want to know, like how many hours per week should I set aside to do this program is one question. Another question is, will I really get to know my classmates or any of the faculty because the whole thing is remote? And then the third thing is, if I really want to make a career transition, is this the right program for me, or am I better off in a residential type of MBA program? So why don't we tackle the three of those questions, whoever wants to.
So John, I will start with just talking a little bit more about our community, in the sense, going back to your question of, will you get to
Good.
interact with the faculty members? How will you get to interact with your other peer learners? And then that goes back to kind of what I talked about, like our programs, they're designed, or IMBA program is designed to be fully virtual. However, it's designed to also have that in-person feel, that high-touch feel, and also that feel where we're actually facilitate building a community, which is something that you see when you come to iConverge, or our learners are so passionate about not only what they learn, but the peers that they get to meet in our program. One thing that's really unique about the IMBA is the fact that, you know, many online programs across the US, you'll actually find that a lot of their learners are based either in the same state or in the surrounding areas of the campus. That is very different with what we see with our IMBA population. Yes, we do draw quite a lot of learners from the Chicago area and the state of Illinois, but over 70% of our learner population is from outside of the state of Illinois. We have learners across all 50 states and 160 countries. So when you come to our classes as an IMBA learner, you will be interacting with individuals across the globe. And that's really one of the unique features of our program that we consistently hear about from our learners. The fact that they get to be on teams with individuals from Singapore, India, Asia, and, you know, different time zones, as well as individuals from different companies, different industry careers. So our IMBA program really has a really great, diverse set of global learners, and that kind of comes through in the community as well. Another distinctive point that I'll just touch on, which helps to facilitate that community that we have, is the experiential learning opportunities that we provide for our IMBA learners. Many IMBA programs that are designed to be fully online do not provide opportunities where you can meet many of your peers in person. And so as an online program, we're committed to running in-person immersions. And so we have that as a unique feature where we run 2 in-person trips per year, but then we also do virtual immersions because we know not everyone is going to be able to come in person. And then we have iConverge, which, you know, is one of the greatest conferences on earth, where we have 500 learners descending on campus to interact with each other. And we also have a global network of learners that meet up with each other and host meetups in different cities. We also host meetups and iConnects as well, where or Gies staff or faculty go out and actually connect with our IMBA learners. So you can call it, you know, Gies on location. We are committed to really being out there and connecting with our learners. Now, with the question with respect to number of hours per week, I'm going to ask Casey to jump in here because it's a common question that we do get from our prospects.
Sure. Yeah, again, it depends a little bit on that timeline. So we generally suggest that learners are spending 10 to 15 hours per week per course. And then students are typically taking 1 to 2 courses each 8-week session. So as little as 10 to 15 weeks, then you're looking around that 3-year timeline for completion of the degree. If you'd like to expedite that, however, you could double up on coursework, finish the degree requirements in 2 years. Wanted to talk just a little bit about our curriculum too, because we haven't hit on that yet. All of our courses are arranged into specializations. So all learners complete a set of 4 core specializations, which provides that fundamental foundational MBA curriculum that I think you'll find across most programs. But then learners also complete 2 focus area specializations. And so that's more specific. We offer digital marketing, mergers and acquisitions, business analytics, and that's where you can really tailor the curriculum based on your current interests or career, or looking to make that change, as you mentioned. The really unique factor about our program as well, compared to some, you're not in a lockstep curriculum where you have to start with those core specializations. If you know you really need those business analytics skills, you're welcome to jump into those courses from the start, get that content, and be able to apply it immediately. Hear that countless time over and over again is I took information that I learned in my IMBA class on Tuesday and applied it on Wednesday, or I had a situation at work and then I brought it back to my peers in the program and we talked it through, right? I got the insight from industry professionals from outside of the scope of my day-to-day, and it just really sheds a different light on some of those situations, and that diversity of thought is something that's really important and valued with students in our program.
Yeah, just to also touch
Casey,
on,
how do you evaluate? Okay, yeah. Okay.
Sorry, just to also touch on coursework. I really love that you brought up what we're doing with that new course, Disruptive and Innovative Technologies, that is being led by Robert Byrne, because that's like a prime example of the innovation that we're committed to within the IMBA. We routinely add new courses to our curriculum. Last year we launched a brand new specialization in mergers and acquisitions, which has really taken off very well. It's a very popular specialization, especially for individuals who are looking to be in the finance field. Robert's course is very unique in the sense that, yes, we're using generative AI. So Gies, as a program and as a college, we're not afraid to lean into new technologies and actually leverage them to make our process more efficient, but also to leverage them to provide teachable moments to our students. So, Robert's course will start off with actually asking learners to pick out, well, which video is, built using generative AI versus the one that's really him. But even with generative AI, it's something that we've embedded in our courses, where some of our courses are actually allowing our students to use ChatGPT to finish up projects or to help them with coding. And so we're not afraid to like grasp new technologies, actually learn how to use them in an efficient way. But just going back even to that new course, it's something that we do on a regular basis. So in addition to Robert's course, we're also launching a new course in government and nonprofit, which is a course that IMBA students can do as an elective. Robert's course is also an elective course, as Casey talked about, or elective pathway. So on top of our regular specializations, you can, forge your own path with respect to that elective pathway and creating your own concentration.
Casey, what do you look for in an applicant, and what do you consider the ideal applicant for the program?
Yeah, great question. We do have a very holistic application review process. So we are going to look at those standard, your undergraduate background, your work history, both in terms of quantity and quality. Your letters of reference are very important. They don't have to submit the standard letter, but instead a series of questions that we provide. And then every applicant that's admitted into the program does go through an interview process with a member of our staff or an alum of the program. And I would say that is a really critical component of that admissions decision. We do want to get to know individuals and leverage the type of teammate they are going to be in the program. We really do foster a collaborative environment. That teamwork and team group collaboration is incredibly important in the coursework. So that's one thing that we're really aiming after, both in the written program essay, but especially in that interview process as well. If you don't feel like you meet the standard GPA requirements set by our graduate college, we do offer an alternative track called our performance-based admissions track. Applicants still apply to this like they would the traditional program, but if admitted through this performance-based admissions track, they take a series of 3 courses as a non-degree student. And we evaluate their success in them. So we say, are you ready for this program, right? By showing us through these 3 courses. If they're successful in those performance-based admission track courses, they're admitted to the degree program and those credit hours transfer right in with them. So there's no time wasted, there's no money wasted as long as you prove us right with the success in these courses. So just another way that we speak to that innovation in what is very traditionally kind of cut and dry admissions space.
And I should add to the different points of getting together that Narissa mentioned before. Over the course of talking to many of your IMBA students, I have found that there's a lot of self-organizing. So a bunch of IMBA students in a given city or region will get together at a local coffee shop or a restaurant or a bar and meet on their own in their study groups or not. And a lot of that is happening in the program as well, above and beyond the organization that the school itself evolves around, right?
Yes, a lot of our community initiatives, you would say, is very organic. And a lot of that is kind of facilitated using technology. So as a part of our programs, all of our IMBA learners will get access to an application from Meta, also known as Facebook, called Workplace, which is kind of a Facebook for corporations. And we see in Workplace that a lot of groups just organically form around city location, around coursework, around the career fields, and around different also social interests. And so via Workplace, we have learners actually finding each other in a location. And usually there is, you would say energizers within the group that would actually get the group to come together and host meetups. Some groups in certain city locations tend to do this on a very regular basis. But given that we have learners like all across the country, you can see that type of organic set of meetups occurring in many different locations. And let's say you're in the New York area, the Chicago area, or the San Francisco area, and you are a part of those groups. Again, it's optional on whether you participate in those meetups. And so sometimes you'll see that of all the learners in a particular city, some will go to dinner, some will go to, a sporting event. But at the end of the day, they all get to like interact with each other. And even if they come to campus events such as Convocation or iConverge, many of our learners sometimes are meeting each other for the first time. And then from there, they realize, oh, we got to keep that connection and keep that connection in the location that we're in.
That's great. I wonder if I were to ask your students, what are the 3 hallmarks of the program? What 3 things would they tell me? Nerissa, what do you think?
I think hallmarks, I think the number one thing I consistently hear about as I talk to learners, or even when I go and host meetups myself, is engagement. Many come into the program and just say how engaging or classes are. Going back to that question about how close can we get to the faculty members, they come into a fully online program thinking that there's not going to be that connection, but there actually is in our IMBA. You'll be in live sessions where the professors, of course, they're talking to a broader class, but they'll facilitate small group discussions in like breakout rooms. We have office hours where instructors will host office hours twice a week. Right. A lot of our learners go to those office hours, and that's where you get to interact one-on-one with faculty members. And they talk about engagement, not just in the classroom, but outside. So I would say that is one of the distinctive features that we consistently hear about our programs, how engaging it is. And I would say the second thing is going back to the community of learners that we have and the passion that they have for learning and the passion that they have for connecting with each other and helping each other. Going back to even that workplace app that we have, based on our price point, we offer some resources with respect to career networking and job search. But a lot of that also happens organically through our community, through workplace, where a lot of our learners are helping each other to switch jobs, switch into a new field. If somebody's company has a new job posting, they'll post it on workplace and share it out with the community. So that's 2 definitely things that I can think of. Casey, you want to add into the third here?
Yeah, I mean, one of the key differentiators continues to be our price point, paired with quality, of course. There are less expensive MBAs out there at this point. There are certainly far more expensive MBAs out there at this point, but the quality and reputation of the degree that you're going to get from the University of Illinois is no different based on the modality. This is a fully recognized degree by the University of Illinois. We are fully embracing our online community, but we've done it in a really smart way and at scale to provide it at a much more affordable price point. We're trying to develop smart business leaders, and return on investment is incredibly important. So I think that continues to be a key differentiator. And John really went in with a mission to kind of shake up the MBA space, and I think we've been very successful in doing that.
Now, for those who are interested and want to know more, Casey, how do they get in touch with you and the school?
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to contact myself. My email address, it's going to sound confusing, is Wilson34, Wilson 34 at Illinois. Proud Illinois alum, so still have my maiden name. They can always contact us at Gies online at illinois.edu as well. As I mentioned, we have currently accepting applications for our spring cohort. We'll also open applications for summer and fall 2024 in mid to late January. We would love to connect you with an ambassador or current student or an alum of the program. I think that's really important. We can say all these great selling points, but our students are really honest and they're really happy to talk with prospective students. So I would encourage any listeners out there today to take advantage of that opportunity. We also offer a number of informational webinars, but also mock classes. So you can sit in on exactly what a live lecture would look like in the program. So I'd encourage you to take advantage of some of those opportunities. Make sure online learning and this program in particular is a good fit for you.
So there you go. You get 5 intakes a year. You've got the stackability feature, which allows you to take just a course or a certificate and apply it to the program. You've got the flexibility of doing it over a 5-year time frame. You've got your concentrations. Not all online MBA programs have concentrations, I should add. And when they do, they typically have fewer, far fewer than what you're offering, given the breadth of your elective offerings. And at a price point you really can't beat. So there it is. Larissa and Casey, thank you so much for joining us and providing all this great information. If you want to know more, the first place to go is the Gies College of Business website. Check out the IMBA. Casey will fix you up with an ambassador to talk to, or maybe sit in and be a fly on the wall for one of the live classes that are weekly in the courses, and try it out. It's no pain. It's a great way to try it. Hey, thanks a lot. And for all of you out there, thanks for watching. This is John Byrne with Poets and Quants.